fire danger for southeast New Mexico and most of West Texas. Red flag warning in effect from 11 a.m. this morning to 9 p.m. this evening. Relative humidity less than 10%. 20 feet winds of 15 miles per hour or more.
States here?
We were out for it's a nice temperature.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Texas was quite a unique trip for me in the sense that I wasn't sure that I'd enjoy it before we went. I'm glad I was with the crew because it made it a lot of fun, but experiencing somewhere like that and the vastness of how big America is and the crazy distances between these small towns that really are so remote was quite eye-opening.
Yeah. I don't think it is though, for my type.
I think during this trip, so much of what we did was determined by the temperature. Like I loved the early morning rides that we did in Texas and how different the landscape looks, how quiet it is, how empty it is. So I think I'll try to remember that, and when we get back, maybe try the same thing again, even though it's not necessary.
In Texas, I have finally found the middle of nowhere, and then I mean the real middle of nowhere. And I'm very happy that I had the crew with me because it gives like a strange feeling of being lost in space with just really nothing around you except for dry vegetation and gravel and like rocky mountains, and you feel so small in this stretch out land. That's crazy, and we experienced that multiple times in Texas.
After all those years riding my bike, I thought I would know my body very well. But even this trip was not very long. I learned a lot and new things about my body, about how to perform again in a race, the heat and the dryness.
When we were planning this Texas trip, I had like all these kinds of stereotypes and thoughts in my head about Texas and how big the USA is. We were looking on the map at all the distances between cities and we were like, oh shit. But at that point it was just all still the numbers. And when we were actually riding in Texas, you could just feel how big and wide it all was. The endless roads and the views and just a whole lot of land. And at some point the greatness of the landscape even scared me a little bit, and it was such a weird feeling because we are so used to having it down every few kilometers, and that actually made me realize that you can have a lot of thoughts and opinions in advance about a place that you're going to, but what is actually better is to just undergo it and to feel how it is. And I think that in this way you can get to understand a culture or a part of the world a little bit better.
call it a day?
I think it is.
It's I would say it's 35 degrees now, something like that.
Well, maybe more
It's
already.
going back up to 44.
Hot enough. Water.
Time to get some water, find some food, call it a day.
Yeah. And go for.
I think this was also the last ride of our trip.
Yeah? Oh.
Could be. How would you rate it, Finley, the trip?
The trip?
Hmm?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Or today?
The whole thing.
4.5 flags.
4.5 flags.
Ooh.
See, that's, yeah. I think I can get with that.
Where did the 1.5 flag went in?
They evaporate. They evaporated.
Yeah, okay, good point.
They melted.
Alright. Then this is it. See you guys in the next adventure.
Luxembourg, right?
This is the vlog ending.
I have to do some ending.